Our next presenter this afternoon is Rachel Soshin Johnson. Rachel's Ikebana practice over the last 30 plus years has deepened from being a gardener's creative outlet to an artistic discipline and now to a livelihood. She currently holds the rank of Komon, second highest teaching level in the Sogetsu School of Ikebana. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Rachel Soshin Johnson.
Thank you, everybody. I'm so happy to be here today, and welcome. And I'm going to introduce my assistants today. They are Ava Kennedy and Virginia Tsai. Please stand up for me. And we'll move on. Is the sound okay? Yes. You can hear it? Great, thank you. It's a wonderful day to be at a flower show, isn't it? It's a really beautiful day out there. I'm really amazed with all of my colleagues and friends and students' work. Very inspiring. So this first arrangement is the one we called mazazashi, which means a variety of materials. And as I was preparing it, I was thinking, this is the closest that a Japanese arrangement would come to a Western-style bouquet. When you pick up a bouquet, a beautifully well done one, you have colors that really go together and are complementary. However, in Ikebana, it's got a slightly different flavor to it. So here's the material. I won't use all of this material, but I have to start with plenty. Very beautiful material at this time of year. Did you see the colors as they came in? Already it's a yummy autumn feeling to that. Yeah. I actually had to make an emergency trip to Trader Joe last night because I had beautiful dahlias, but they'd wilted in the heat. Here's another beautiful wine red next to that magenta color. This is celosia with a little bit of an orange tip to it too. And then let's put in a little bit of a bright color to complement with that. These are rose hips, very seasonal. I don't grow roses, but if I did, it would be mostly so I could have rose hips. We were just talking about that. It's traditional to do also this type of arrangement in autumn, and a basket is very traditional as well. I think I will keep the yellow, but I'd like some more material now. I'll put that there, but leave it there for now. Thanks. Yesterday I was talking to Soho about this. I called it a fire raspberry, and she said raspberry tree, and it certainly it's grown this high now. So I had no idea that a raspberry could grow so high. It doesn't taste like a raspberry. The fruit is black, but mostly it's got these gorgeous leaves at this time of year. It's hard to find that autumn season feeling sometimes in this climate, because if it comes, it's quite brief or only in certain places. And I live in San Francisco, so we don't get the sort of heat and then cold that you need to develop the color. But I just want to get something from my garden in here, then I feel like it belongs to me. Wow, I have a whole lot more things in here. This one also is from my garden. I think I'll put a little bit of that in now. It's called Night Scented Jessamine. Oh, and but the scent at night isn't that fragrant. If anybody has this plant, it's a little bit more like the neighbor's cat came in. So I don't grow it for that reason. However, in the daytime, the hummingbirds adore it. because it's got those tubular shaped flowers that they can really get into. So now I'm going to go up another level in height and introduce some grasses. In a cabana, we tend to, rather than fill up a space all on the same level, is to create some space within the arrangement. And I like these fluffy. I asked at the market what these are called, and they said like purple feather. I think they just make up something. They just make up something, but they're very pretty, delicate. Here's a crocosmia. You can see here, autumn is when things turn brown. They've had red flowers and then orange seeds in them, and now they're turning a little bit brown. Let's put a couple more of those in. So arrangements like this, in a way, are very, very relaxed and casual because of the basket. We do think about the structure and the colors. They go together. We got here. Oh yeah, I like that. Here's something that came from City College of San Francisco. Stephen here? I wish he would be. He's very generous. He runs the floristry department, and he cuts lots of flowers if ever you ask him. And then I wanted a little bit of yellow, and this is some type of a vegetable. It's very, very sour. We thought it was lettuce, but when I tasted it, it certainly isn't lettuce. It's gone to seed, so it's got all of these leaves going up. So a little bit of that bright yellow color will be nice. And I have in the basket a kanzan or a pin frog, so that I can hold the flowers together in there. A little bit more of this. It's a little vegetable gone wild. Oh, and then this one. This is pretty much dry, but see how the colors change and develop as they dry, and the seed heads are very pretty. A little bit of height in there. Do we have any more? Oh, we've got one more taller thing coming. Yeah. I had to stop on the way home. We see this everywhere, right? They do sell it in the flower market too, but I like to know where it's come from. It smells beautiful. This is dill. And so this really makes airiness. Oops. You'll have noticed as you're going around the exhibitions how much beautiful branches and line that we make in a cabana. This type of arrangement is very slightly different in that there's space between all of these different elements. So we like to have a very airy feeling by extending upwards. There, I think that one is done. Mazuzashi. That one's going, oh, this one's going this direction, I think. You can take this one now. Yeah. Next. Oh, this beautiful ugly vase. I don't know who made this, but it's a very strange color. Can you see that from there? And these strange little pieces that are like hooked over the top, which are sort of gold for a cabana, because then we can rest things on them. They hold on to our branches. So I rather love this vase. We've got a big branch coming to play with it. Yes. So I found this one not far from my house. And see, this side is very green. And then this side, it looks beautiful against here, right? You've got lots more of the yellow color there. Oops, I'm going to put it down a little bit. It agreed to rest just at this spot. I'm just going to take a little bit of wire to be doubly sure to secure it. This has been sitting outside my house for quite a few months. And then that little speck of rain that we had last week was wonderful. All of the lichen just comes to life again. And clearly it doesn't need to grow on something. Apparently it's a real sign of the health of the environment and the air quality if lichen is growing. Yes, I'll take the flowers now. Oops. Thank you. These white orchids have already done hard work. They were at an office downtown for a month, and then they came home, and now I've cut them to be cut flowers. So it's such a well-lasting flower. I think this one I'll go through this way. How many people are very new to Ikebana who are in the audience today? Yeah? Okay. So for you, because I teach, I often explain at the beginning what's happening. And I'm cutting in under the water there, as we're taught in Ikebana, because it conditions the flower stem so that it can drink water and not take up lots of air bubbles. It's such an old art. Like, we know that we've got documentation going back 500 years, but all the same, the school that we are studying with our sensei, is very modern looking. So we've got the advantage of both, all of that history and tradition and techniques, and then a modern outlook with our arranging and using material that's from our own regions. I'm just going to pop a little one at the back here. It's nice to have different sizes of flowers. I think that's enough for the orchids. So as I was making this arrangement, it felt like now this is so white and this is so rustic. I need another material to blend them together. Oh, thank you. This is about my favorite material ever. It's got various names. Umbrella fern is probably the easiest one. It clings together a lot. It dries so beautifully, you hardly need to put it in water at all. And I'd like to just introduce it as another layer, almost screening the orchids so that they have that lovely green color in front of them to blend them with the branch. Skinny stem, so those are nice and easy for me to place inside. Well, I'm breaking off lots of little bits. Is it looking like it's blending the flowers together with the branch a little bit more? Sucking them in at the back. I think that's enough for now. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I should have put that one here. I'm going to move it. I'm going to move this one so that in Ikebana we pay attention to where the space is pointing to. The space is so important. It's like another character. So this arrangement it's more comfortable if there's space on this side of it. So I didn't want to put that one there. Thank you. This container is very dear to me. It's made by one of my longest studying students, Suzanne. Is she here today? No? Anyway, she made it, and I just adore the color. It's so beautiful. I've got a heavy Kenzan in there because what's very hard apparently in ceramics is to make a base that is absolutely flat. So that helps to really stabilize it, that I have that in there. Yeah. And then again, a gift from City College is these are bird of paradise leaves. I'm going to keep this one and give this one back to Ava. We can bow to each other. It's very fun in Ikebana to cut things down. You know, you have something very tall, but it's got to ultimately be the right size and shape for your design. So that one is going in there. And it's a big flat leaf the way that I've placed it. So I'm going to take some of the mass out of it by tearing down here. It's such a beautiful, clean leaf to work with. It's like a banana leaf that you feel you could eat your food from it. I think that's good. It gives us a little bit more space in here. Thank you. And this one, this is from my garden. And actually, it's from Soho's garden. She gave me a little root a while ago, and clearly it likes where it's living. So it grows up really tall. It's in a place where I always throw water when I finished watering. So again, cutting things down to smaller sizes. I'm going to use this one. I'm going to come in this way. There were a couple of things I needed to go with this. Not with the flowers, before the flowers, yeah? Oh, I think I'm going to go this way. This way. And then this way. And then I'd like to come here and attach another one. That's what I wanted, yes. And then I'm going to put another big one. It's very spongy inside. It's very quite easy to cut. So here's another nice big line. And I'd like to join these two lines together. And I'm going to make a hole where I'm going to put that. So you're going to come through here. And then I have a toothpick. Also coming out. Oh, there we go. I have a toothpick is going to go in this side and connect to this side. So it feels like it's one line. Isn't that fun? And then another, I'm making some angular lines to go with the very organic feeling of the container. And I'm leaving the rest of the leaf very natural looking too. So now it's time for some flowers. Yeah. Great. So, we have the alum. This is used in pickling, and we use it to condition hydrangeas so that they take up water. So I can't explain any more scientifically than that. The principle of pickling is that your pickles stay nice and crunchy and hydrated. So we just dip it in there. So I want to now introduce some beautiful green color into here. These also were grown in San Francisco at City College. Taking off the leaves because I don't need any extra embellishment, let's say. It's just a very simple look. That one's a bit short, a little bit longer. It's kind of a great time of year for hydrangeas. They seem to stay nice and fresh. I think earlier in the year there were a lot, and they sell at the market, but you never know if they're going to hold up very well. Just want to add a little bit of volume to the back. So space and also dimension or depth, so that you may not even see some details of the depth, but you sense it when it comes way back into space. Feels more comfortable. In the educational room, you'll see how many of the designs that we start with, they're made to be viewed only from one side. Whereas again, a big difference with Western floral design would be that things are made all around a lot of the time. Yeah. It takes a lot of materials to do that. But to create a really nice dynamic space, it takes a lot less materials. Let me just take that in. Take that in a little bit more. That in a little bit low. Okay. Oops. Oh, sorry. This one's going to end up here, so I think I'll start here. This is a very special container by Mary Grauber. Who here knew Mary Grauber? She's a very prolific pottery maker and student of Soho's a long time. And it's a very unusual, it's got a lot of feeling to me, this container. It's got a presence. Thanks. So this arrangement has taken a long time. These were palm leaves that I brought home from work. Like when you have to cut a leaf, you just drag it home. And I took, for example, this one, just cut off one side and then grouped all of this together and tied it. And it was green, it was beautiful. Then it was pale green, and now it's, as you see, it's really become something completely new on its own. So here's one where I took both sides over. So I'm going to put that one in here. You'll see a lot of use of dried materials as well in Ikebana, because we feel that when a material it's been a seed and then a bud and then it's grown, then later it develops it in another way. So we keep on expressing with it. I'm just tightening a little wire here just to be sure that this one stays there. Isn't it beautiful? It's very sculptural, just on its own. Here's another one I'm going to put in. Again, I've put a kenzan in the bottom of here. There's a little issue with mixing dry and fresh. So this one won't mind just for a little while because it needs to happen. I'm still not sure if I'm going to go with that one, so let's go with the next material. Yeah. Here's, you all know this, right? At the side of the road, the Pampas grass. I think this is a really lovely one because it's rather delicate compared to the big, they look like big brushes. And I'd like to make a column starting way in here. This one. How tall can I go? Maybe up to here, it'd still be in proportion to the presence. of this container. Sort of joining them together. So I'm going to add more just to add volume without changing the height now. You're just seeing one white column right through from the bottom? Right. Okay, I'm ready for flowers next. Yes, thank you. The marigolds, very seasonal, yeah? And very abundant. They grow so easily. I really want to plant more of them. Very unusual. I've taken off all of the leaves beforehand because I don't want you to just watch me playing with the leaves. The good thing is that I can put my hand through the vase to help position it. There's such different sizes here. There's like really big, medium, short. Of course, we practice in order to make arrangements backwards. We watch our teacher when we learn all the time, making arrangements backwards. And then eventually, late in the syllabus, we have to do it ourselves and realize what a skill that is to have developed. But it's fun. It's a very challenging art that's got a lot of depth to it. I don't think any of us think that we could learn ikebana in a few classes. It's more of a pursuit that interests you from whatever place you came into it. So some people are already artists and they're changing medium. And like me, I had a garden. I won't say I was a gardener, and I loved Japanese art and the aesthetics. So wherever you come into it, there's something particular to you to discover about it, I think, and your relationship to flowers and nature. Can you see flowers going right through? So I'm going to tilt it a little bit because it's a vase that doesn't reveal everything at the beginning, huh? Just gonna, yeah. So you could see this side, and hardly anything is showing, huh? And here's the back. Yeah. So that's a very special container to me. Okay. The last design has sort of a preamble, which is going back to what happened in COVID. And so many things happened to us all. Yeah, can I give you that? Thank you. And when we met on Zoom for a couple of hours a week with my class after we'd sort of absorbed, oh, we're not going to get back in our classroom anytime soon. And one funny thing that came up was, stockpiling toilet rolls. But funny thing that hit me was I just started saving this part, as if art materials were going to run out. And that would be the worst thing that could happen. You didn't have any art material. And then somebody was making ikebana or flower design using them. So, you start off just cutting them up and stapling them together, and that's sort of fun. And then the next stage is to make some of them longer than other ones. Then you start to get a little bit more shape and form to it. And then you get your paints out and you color them red, and they start to look like art materials instead of the very humblest material there is, like for the humblest room that there is. So if you I couldn't make this one in front of you because there's just too much. I'll bring that. Yeah, perfect. Isn't that fun? And then these are some willow branches I have. This gorgeous red container I've borrowed from Soho because it just seemed exactly the right thing. It's got this nice strong base, and then we can make a nice shape through here. And these, I've just had endless fun tumbling these around. They're now not stapled together, they're glued together. If you need any, I still have a lot. I'm trying to stop piling them. I'll take the flowers now. Yeah. And this flower always grows very well in this climate if you should feel like planting it. It's a pincushion protea. You can get it at the garden stores in many colors. So orange, yellow, some reds, some with pink edges. They're getting very fancy. But I'd love the very, oops, you don't want to fall down there, do you? I'm getting a nice pop of color from that. I do want you to know that I've used several different colors of paint. I used all my red, all my pink, all my glossy, and now I've run out, so I'll be having new paints soon. Again, I'm going to take leaves away because green and red has got a different feeling to yellow and red, and I want just a really nice strong pop of color here. This one will pop out here. I went to one of the stores in the market where they sell them singly, and then you can get the ones that are curved. You've probably noticed that we get a lot of, there's a lot of flower farms and flower industry, but one of the downsides is that things are very straight, and they're all uniform because they're grown under farmhouse or greenhouse conditions. So it's nice to get ones that have a little bit more character, again, to get more variety and dimension and depth into our arrangements. Just sneak this one down here. Okay, I will play with that probably later when I can see it. So then the other thing, I didn't show it to you. When I was playing with color, I painted one of the rolls green, and it shows up so much to see one green thing against all of these red things. So I have this leaf. I'm such a good gardener. I've got leaves that are desperate for nutrients. But to my delight, because I was like, where can I find a leaf that is the right color? I need a yellowish leaf. It's either that or overwatering. Here it is. It's one little green speck. You can see it, huh? But that's too green. We're very fussy about exactly what shade of everything. So I thought it would be fun to have the plant material interact. This is called an unconventional material design. But we don't want it to be alien from nature. It's actually part of nature. We know that these used to be a plant, ultimately, originally, right? Whether it was a tree, I don't know, but it's a plant material. So it's nice to have it interact. Uh-oh. Yeah. Oh wow, it's almost exactly the same color. And this one's painted yellow inside. Okay, so just be able to pop that in there. Maybe do a couple more. If you start cutting leaves up for any reason, I just should say it's easier to use scissors than the hassami that we always use for ikebana. And do cut leaves up, it's fun. I mean, we do it all the time, right, for our food. So in a way, it's just as nourishing as that is. I think we have to have one more. One up, one down, maybe one on this side. Just peeping out of there. Okay, that's it. Thank you.